Be-doo, be-doo, dee-doo. Hey everybody. Sorry, I gotta turn this fan off. I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations. You know, I don't want to turn it off because then I'll be all sweaty. And what's happening? We're live streaming today. Pressing some buttons. It has been a very exciting morning. It's been a very exciting week. Because the dogs are losing their minds. But no, it's good day, dingoes. Hey Amzy, hey Lisa, hey Kaylee, sorry. Okay, so there's just so much happening in my brain right now. Craft Along Con, an artisan education conference, is happening. It's gonna be a thing. So far, it's okay. It's not like officially happening.
It's not happening anytime soon.
Brady says it's not happening anytime soon. I gotta go grab my binder. I'll be back. I know. I'll tell them. I'm gonna show them my binder. Okay. So this is my Leslie Knope style binder for anybody who's a Parks and Rec fan. That I dumped coffee all over. Hey Sheena, how's it going? So, and I've been filling it with coffee stains and ideas and page dividers and venue ideas and locations and potential, I don't know, food's gonna depend a lot on the venue that we end up going with, which I just got off the phone with a very nice lady at a hotel for our first choice of venue. But this event is not going to be happening until probably late 2021. So, but it feels really good to have something to be completely obsessed about that I've never done before, because I'm learning a whole lot. And I don't know, like, I'm really excited to potentially get to craft with all of y'all. Though honestly, the more that I'm learning about event hosting, the more I'm realizing that just because I'm putting on the event doesn't mean I'm actually going to get to participate in the event. Right? Delight says yay for Craft Along Con. Yeah, but yeah, we're doing a ton of planning and stuff now so that we can get an idea of, like, I don't know how much it costs to rent a venue. Hey Laura, not a whole lot. We're aiming for Craft Along Con for October 2021, but that's so much is completely up in the air right now because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a person bumping into things. And before anybody asks or panics or has, you know, any fears or anything, I am going to keep doing bi-weekly live streams and once a week tutorials. I am going to keep doing all of the same things that we've been doing on Patreon with our monthly crates and everything. We're still going to be doing everything on Etsy. We are just completely, potentially changing our convention presence. For like, yeah, it's official. We canceled on Tokyo and Tulsa, by the way, if any of y'all didn't know. They didn't get back to us. They didn't anything. So we were like, we'll stay home. We're done. But we're thinking of, instead of going and right on Sabrina, because we'll need a lot of volunteers and stuff, and we'll talk more about that as we get things fleshed out. But I am gonna have to turn. Is this fan loud for y'all? Like, yeah, bi-weekly lives. I live stream every Tuesday and Thursday, Tracy. So we'll keep doing that until heck freezes over. Elise, we'll get to craft together, baby. Okay. Oh, it is bothering you guys. Sorry, I'll talk louder. It's hot. It is hot. It is humid also. No, I got you, Leslie. And this is my very first event to coordinate, so we might look at, I don't know. It's too early to think about doing a world tour. Right on. But like, we've been, I don't know if, like, if y'all didn't see, I've been writing down ideas and just page dividers. And I think Maddie is tired of hearing about Craft Along Con. Though honestly, she's had a lot of really good ideas, and I'm kind of sad that she's in high school and can't help me coordinate the whole thing because, um, I don't know. It's kind of like the term biennial. It can mean twice a year, biennial and then biannual. I don't know. No, 2 live streams a week. Sorry for any confusion on that. I could teach how to make knitted scale gloves, and that will be something that we will be having. Hopefully, maybe guest teachers, because I don't know everything and I can't teach everything myself. And hopefully, we'll have so many people attend that there's no way that I could teach everything myself because there's just so many people. Sort seed weeds and what thought all mommy's weeds need to be together. Oh no! I have no idea, Kimmy. I'm on in Las Vegas. It's hotter than 2 dogs. Renee. Is it just a weekend thing? Is it a camping thing? Can you explain a bit more? Okay, so this is my vision for Craft Along Con. It is in a hotel that has like a ballroom and panel rooms and things very much. If y'all have ever been to a fandom convention, what?
Oh, I'm just listening.
Oh, if y'all have ever been to a fandom convention, it's very much in structure and form like that. So you'll buy like either a day pass or a 3-day pass. Well, the ballroom's actually going to be used for the exhibitor and vendor area. We were thinking about having the ballroom be open to the public to come and frequent our vendors. So it's a little bit of an arts and craft show mixed with our primary focus, which would be the Artisan Education Conference, which is you pay for the idea, again, behind this is what Randy and I have been doing at conventions for years. Let me turn this off. And that is, if you pay for your badge, all of the classes are free. So you get to use the tools and materials, and whatever you make, you get to keep. So not only are you getting to make things, but you're getting to learn techniques that you'll be able to use either as a hobbyist or professional artisan for your Etsy sales, for all of your different things. Like my goal as a teacher for y'all coming and attending Craft Along Con would be, I want you to know every wire wrapping technique that I know by the end of the weekend if you take all of my classes. Like it's and so if we have somebody in teaching like bead weaving or macrame, like it's kind of like the master courses offered by like Bead and Button. Like they put on their Bead and Button show up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're gonna be a very much smaller version of that. And we're thinking October 2021. Everything right now is very up in the air, very just in the brainstorming phase. Like this binder, I'm writing down every single idea, whether or not it's a good one, whether or not we'll ever implement it. It might be something good for year 5, but not for year 1. Like I'm just writing down every single idea so that we can kind of, if I just put all of the ideas all at once onto paper, and then I can start weeding out and structuring that. Right on. Angie says, I'll teach you stained glass if you teach me wire work. And we were hoping that our volunteer structure, our teacher structure will you get like if you were to volunteer and be like one of the people like with the how can I help you shirt on, we do, Laura, we need to really bad. First things first, before we get any of this off the ground, Laura, is I'm finding out I'm contacting like about 10 to 15 venues to get quotes and to kind of figure out. We're actually going to be attending GlitchCon in Springdale, Arkansas, to not for the convention, but just to scope out and meet with their sales associate and kind of see that venue. That's one of them. There's like 10 or 12 other ones that and because we wanted to be by an international airport, but we also needed it close enough to the house that I can drive to it and like do setup and stuff without like a bunch of disaster. So we were looking at like possibly the Bentonville, Arkansas area, kind of roundabout in there, which Springdale is like 30 minutes from Bentonville. We were looking at possibly Tulsa. We were looking at Springfield, Missouri, which is like very small and probably the most, not to say podunk, but like Springfield, Missouri is not St. Louis, Missouri. that's just how it is. Yet. But we're getting different quotes and stuff from different regions. We even looked at some places up by St. Louis, yeah, and it's so where I'm gathering as much information as I can right now so that I can be able to make more informed decisions. We're also have like a scheduled meeting with a friend who I tremendously respect, Joe, the fellow who puts on the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Con. I actually got a call from him last night because I texted him if I could pick his brain, because I had contacted one hotel to see if I could get a quote for their venue, and they were like, oh yeah, that'll be $47,000, and I was like, and if that's the budget that I'm looking at, then this isn't gonna happen. We'll just do like this and hang out together. But he was like, no, you do not pay more than a couple thousand for a venue. And I'm like, that's still a lot of money. But Randy was like, why don't you try crowdfunding this on Kickstarter? And I'm like, well, I got to figure out how much it's going to cost before I can start charging people pre-reg VIP badges. Because we were thinking about doing like a Friday night banquet for all the, like the first wave of pledgers on what I am Penny. I'm brimming, you guys. I have breathed, eaten, and dreamt this for like a week now since we talked about it last week. It's kind of like Skillshare courses, but in person. Like, so I was thinking we could have a track lineup of talking about utilizing social media for the best benefit of your company. So how you can take these things, that maybe other artisans and stuff, like we'd have like a panel of a lot of our teachers and we'd all talk about our methods and what has been effective for us. That way you as the attendee would be able to kind of cherry pick and choose and streamline what's going to be most effective for you. Because sometimes, I've said this before, but I'll say it forever, what works for me might not work for somebody else, but what works perfect for you might not work for me. Like, that doesn't invalidate how effective it is. It's just not everything is for everybody. Denise says, I used to be an event coordinator. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. I'll help out wherever I can. Right on. Yeah, and it's as any advice that you guys have and stuff and ideas. I think we have a tab about this on the Discord that Daniel Knott put together, which again, I'm eternally grateful for that. Nina says, with Skillshare courses, you don't need to buy more stuff or rent a place and so on. You can keep on selling items for a long time. Yeah, sorry, I misunderstood what you'd said, Nina. I've actually looked at Skillshare and they're very particular about how they want the videos structured. And then they actually don't really, as far as paying the teacher goes, they don't really pay much more than what YouTube does, but they have a much more limited audience. And I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing YouTube videos and teaching y'all any way that I can and learning new things from y'all and stuff. So it's, but I really sometimes like, we're gonna have a class on joining half Persian 3-in-1. So if I have to hold your hands on your pliers or like have my arms around you, like I'll wear deodorant, like helping you, like my goal is you'll be able to close half Persian 3-in-1 by the end of the weekend. Like, we're gonna have big old shower rings that we can use as like jumbo blocks until you get that down, and then kind of, like hands-on. I think having the hands-on aspect is going to be really amazing. We get to rip on like a skin suit. Jesus Christ, Penny, I love you so much. Yes, I will be your don't skin me. Please, nobody skin me. I like being in my own skin. If I can tool wire loops, right? And that's the idea, is that sometimes being limited by the camera and stuff, it just, from my experience in teaching the hands-on classes, there's an element that I just can't capture on camera of whenever we get to craft together, and I'm like, if we do this, like, we could do this. And the more Randy and I were looking at it and having ideas and stuff, we were like, we might be able to actually make this work. So hey, zombie. Some joke about a taxidermy class, right? Insert inappropriate jokes here. Boom. Which our upcoming tutorial for this weekend is for this bad boy. He's a chonker, but that is part 1 of 2. So that's the front and that's the back. I'm doing 2 tutorials showing how to use the Tila beads, because one of them is this style of frame, and then the other one is this style of frame. So kind of slightly different, similar technique but different execution of it. Those are labradorite. So, hey lady, I'm looking forward to seeing you next weekend. Right, we're not going to be at Tokyo and Tulsa. We've had to cancel because they changed their venue 3 times and they don't have it. Last I communicated with them, because I haven't heard from them in a week, they won't reply to my emails. They didn't have a dealer's map. I didn't know what building I was going to be in. When we paid $750 for a 10 by 10, we expected to be in the Cox Convention Center. We expected to have the same number of venues or vendors. There were implied expectations that weren't specifically listed in the contract. But then whenever they changed venue in March, there was still enough time. I could have gotten a 50% refund, but I was like, this new venue looks okay. See, that's the thing, Sabrina, is I'm not counting on getting our money back, because it's been I haven't heard from them in a week since requesting a refund, because I feel they've breached contract by not by changing venue in March and letting everybody know, but they've changed venue 2 more times after that. I'm so confused about the whole thing that I don't even feel like, I'm like, what has happened? Because it had it listed on their website that there's going to be. Yeah, exactly, Jean. They got your money, so why reply? I paid in cash last year. It's no, and guys, this is the thing that kind of pushed Randy and I over the edge, is that we've been vending at conventions. Some are very well run, Anime St. Louis. Oh my god, if every convention were run like Anime St. Louis and Memphis Comic and Fantasy Con and Mid-South Con, some of these conventions that were I don't care if sales are good. I mean, they typically are because they're well-run conventions, but if every con were like those cons, Randy and I's job would have been so much easier, by a million. By a million, our lives would have been easier in every conceivable way. And so we're let's just put on our own event, which if you'd asked me a month ago, I'd have been nope, that's herding cats. I'm not gonna bother with that. Pool Pro says, I hear Craftalon Con is awesome. We're hoping so, and we're hoping so. And we're not having any guests. There's no overhead of we have to pay a celebrity to be there. Though I was oh my god, if we could get Adam Savage to that'd be cool. I don't know, I'm a dork, but we're gonna have guest speakers and teachers, but we're not going to have somebody being there just because they're famous from being on TV. You know what I mean? I want somebody who... Tracy says, what size venue do you need? I have no idea, and that's what's making this kind of hard. So we've been getting quotes on if 250 people show up. If we're having to host 250 people in a venue. And then Randy was you have over 100,000 subscribers, right? And I was yeah. And he's if 1/100th of them show up, you have 1,000 people to teach, to host, to fit into a building. And I was that was very startling. And then he was if 1/10 of them show up, that's 10,000 people at a convention. And I was yeah. No, okay, no, Adam Savage isn't going to be at our event. Please don't be confused by that. If I could, I would be hey, Adam Savage, come be at our event. Maybe in the future, but I wouldn't count on it. I think Randy's going to be the biggest deal in the building at the convention. What? They get to hang out with me in the live chats. Nobody ever gets to hang out with you. You're a shiny exclusive.
So I'm gonna hide up in the photographer?
No, I'm going to have you in a cage and charge people $1 to pet you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Please?
No.
Randy says no on the don't feed the Randy cage. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. Tracy says outdoors. Do it outdoors like Ren Fair. We may have an outdoor element because if there's going to be... Yeah, Laura says, you're a rare Pokemon. He is. I got to see the shiny version of Randy this morning because he had to get dressed up to go do jury duty, and then he came home and he was like, I was way overdressed. You didn't get picked for jury duty though, which I don't know how we feel about that yet. Is that $1 per pat or $1 for 5 minutes? He's objecting to the whole concept. Yeah, Jody'd pay $1 to pet you. Oh God, this is good. Allison Lopez just sent $1. Can I come over and pet you for Allison?
This is not consent.
Please?
No.
Please? I don't want to get charged for spouse abuse, so I'm not going to force my cuddles upon him. But just know, Allison, I'm going to pet him later. I just can't get video proof of me harassing him because then he'll have a case against me. Okay, let's focus. Is there a limit on where? Yes. Nina, oh God. She's like, is there a limit on where we get to pet him? He's just crying. He's just sitting over there crying. Rub his belly like a little Buddha. Yeah.
No.
Throw the petting shoe. Oh my God. Oh, I really hope. Okay, this morning when I talked to the lady about possibly renting their venue, she was like, you do, like, I told her about how we do YouTube, and she's like, I'm gonna have to check that out. Like, she seemed really cool. I really hope she's not watching this because she's gonna be like, no, we're not renting to you friggin' weirdo perverts. Don't you dare apologize, Allison. I suggest start smaller with first come, first served places available. If it goes over, we'll expand. I mean, I'm pretty sure it will go over well. Right, and the thing is that with the venue, we have to kind of, like, we can't just be like, when first come, first serve, and then 50 people show up, but we planned on 10, or we planned on 50 and 200 show up. Like, so we're going to put a cap, I think, on, like, we're going to do Kickstarter just to deal with the pre-reg, like, get that for the venue, we have to have a number to tell them for estimated attendance so that we can know how wide the aisles need to be and stuff.
We get the numbers from the Kickstarter.
Right, and that's what I was about to say. We're going to run a Kickstarter campaign probably October 2020 to allow people to pre-register. That way we can get an idea, and then we can start locking down contracts. We can start we are starting at a hotel center. We think, again, we're getting quotes on everything, but no, and that's, I was gonna say, we might have some outdoor elements because, like, the Gateway Center up in Collinsville, Illinois, no open flame, period, inside the building. So that really puts a damper on if we wanted to do any soldering classes or any lampwork glass classes. So, right, and so, but if I learned anything from the year that Randy and I tried to be farmers, it's madness to rely on, like, the weather, because that year that we tried to be farmers was the hottest and driest summer Tennessee had seen in about 20 to 30 years. So we didn't grow, like, nothing grew. Like, we invested a bunch and tried to, like, have our farmer market, like, truck garden, and it was just so hot. No matter how much we irrigated, stuff just wasn't setting flowers. Sandy says I need tickets for 2 right now. We cannot do pre-sales until we start getting quotes and start actually finding out how much this is going to cost us to try to put on. Hey Angie, how's it going? But yeah, no Stranger Things spoilers, you guys. Sorry, like, if I missed that, but please don't be that person who ruins it for somebody else. I didn't see if anybody was doing spoilers, but hey Cherry, we're doing great. Could you not do a show in a field if the weather is nice? Well, that's if the weather is nice, but what if it's beautiful outside but it's super windy? Or if mosquitoes are really bad? Like, I really prefer to do it indoors, because you can always choose to go outside to, like, the nice garden area that some of these venues have. It was very good, but let it be good for somebody else. Like, don't ruin that mystery of, the message is funny, started watching Stranger Things. Right on. But it's nice to be able to have the option to go outside if it is nice, but just the convenience and climate control is very nice to be able to have inside of a building. In a large tent or fairgrounds, again, I think it'd be better for at least for what I'm visualizing. And that's something that I wish that I could just open my brain up so you guys could see exactly the vision that I have in my mind, because I don't feel like I communicate it well. But it's Krispy Kreme's not also in the States. I gotta turn this fan back on. It's warm. You okay, babe? Okay. Sorry for the loud fan. It's just really warm in here, and I'm super excited. But yeah, so I'm pretty. Oh well, thanks. It's just my craft room. But no, I'm pretty. I'm not dead set on anything, but why not rent a spaceship and have it in space? I think that would be way too expensive. Yeah, we might look at some of the indoor areas of fairgrounds and things, but we're going to be having what I'm calling a craft hall. Fun in space. I'll talk to Elon Musk. Right, Jody?
$600,000 per person.
$600,000 per person. And that's for regular badges. That's not even VIP. No.
Space price.
That's space price. Those are space bucks. Thank you. But I want to have a craft hall that is going to be a 24-hour, 3-day, like anybody who's ever been to a convention that has like the game room, where it's just tables and you just go in there and you game. Like you can play tabletop games, you can play card games, you can just sit and hang out. I want that. That's Branson's price, not Musk's. No kidding. But in the craft hall, you can bring your stuff and like plug in your Cricut or your you know.
Instead of playing games, people bring your crafts.
Instead of bringing games and playing games, you'd bring your crafts, and it'd be like a giant knitting circle, but like this hall of just crafting, and it's like a free craft space. Well, like not free, you'd have to have a badge to get in, but like free craft in the sense that there's no specific project to be worked on in that room. And then we have panel rooms. The venue that we're looking at, I've requested 5 panel rooms potentially, but we're going to be meeting with them at GlitchCon basically to see the size of the room, because the venue, like we're probably going to have to cap out the classes, because I know as a teacher, I can only really teach 15 people at a time and really help them like get it. And so, but each class would be like 2 hours long, and we'd have 5 panel rooms that have from like 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. Pick classes. Like you get a 2-hour class and you're like, you know, working hands-on on stuff, and then we'd like have one room that is like a lecture hall, and that's where like the social media and marketing classes would be. Yeah. So smaller classes, like I want you guys to be able to really absorb this stuff. Anybody who attends, like it's I had said earlier, but it's my goal as a teacher for that hey Christina, at the end of the event, I want, if you took all of my wire wrapping classes, that you know everything that I know about wire wrapping. Your hands might not be as lined up with it, but you'll have been exposed to the techniques. We'll have kind of tweaked on things together. Like it's a masterclass intensive, hopefully, is like an artisan education conference, like how teachers will go to teacher conferences and stuff. I want this to be a conference for professional or hobby artisans who really want to like shine up their skills a bit and maybe learn something new, maybe teach something that they've learned, maybe just connect with other people in a crafty community, in the open crafting hall. I'm really interested. There's a convention in Memphis called Mid-South Con that they call it a con suite, which we were looking at a 3-day weekend. I honestly, God, feel like we could do it for a month, but we're having to limit it to 3 days to start with. I have thought about writing a book, Bennett, and I have 2 or 3 written tutorials lined up. I was going to try to get like 15 written tutorials before we publish a book, but that's a whole nother. Oklahoma Agriplex low-cost venue. It might be worth checking out. Okay, I'll check that out. But the idea is of staying in a hotel venue that has conference space down below, is you can go and crash for a couple hours up in your hotel room. You can go eat in the hotel, like food restaurant. It's like you get there and you're there for 3 days, and it's a little bit of a retreat. It's a little bit of, a cram course. So this is kind of the little brain fart that I'm having of this whole concept is, I don't know, like right now I feel like I'm just splatting colors onto a canvas, and then we'll start fleshing it out, the finer details as it happens. But again, right now I'm just like ideas, like just squirting everywhere. That would be really cool, Rachel. The best thing for you and Randy would be to have it near your house. The host shouldn't have to travel far. And we were looking at Joplin and Carthage are not, there's no airport here, even a regional one. I was thinking about contacting Parawire and seeing if they'd come in, like, and have like a booth, and like, I don't know, like, again, that's kind of next stage. First thing I need to do, figure out venue. But we are looking at venues within like 1 to 2 hours from our house. So, yep. Because there's companies that Randy and I work with. Jody. Yeah, we were looking at Tulsa, some of these different places. Yeah. Oh gosh, you can totally show up early. Like, we're planning on today, whenever I was talking to the sales associate about getting quotes, is we're gonna have like vendor and exhibitor setup start on Thursday, so people would be coming in on Thursday to do stuff. What about a retreat center? They usually have cabins and multipurpose rooms. Quite possibly. That's something I hadn't even considered, Allison. So again, I contacted, like, this is the first place I've spoken to in person. Even if I end up going with the first place I contact, I'm still going to be contacting. I'd like to do like 10 or 15 places. Yeah, like a Girl Scout retreat or something would be, I'd have to see if we'd be able to do that, but a lot of the cabins aren't air conditioned. And it's like, I know, like, my mom, she'd go to something like this in a heartbeat, but if it's hot at all, it triggers her health conditions, and she's like this close to dying. Like, she breaks out in hives and her asthma, and it's like, I don't know about y'all, but I think a lot of us have one thing or another. Like, Randy swells up like he's gonna die every time he gets bit by a mosquito. So again, outdoors is fun, but for something like this, I want to remove as many do what?
Health risks.
Well, not just health risks, but any variables that we can't control, like weather. I want to remove that variable as much as possible. So by having it in an indoor venue, it removes all, so that we don't even have to worry about it. It doesn't matter if it's raining cat and dogs. Hopefully it won't flood out the place. Yeah, outdoors is fun. Air conditioning is a way of life for sure. And it's like, so again, and we could always, this is just probably the first of many events, you guys. So we may still end up having just like a camp out retreat, but I really wanted to do a focused artisan education intensive. Oh, I do love the rain, but it's hard to do leatherworking in the rain if it's like blowing in sideways and triggered by heat fairly severely, mobile chronic diseases. Yeah, and at least I figured, like, if you're cold because of the air conditioning, you can put on a jacket. But and I had a hard time empathizing with the concept of it until I was with my mom and saw how much, just boom, like, she's like, she keeps her respirator on her at all times because it delivers more directly than her inhaler. And she's like, if I don't have this with me, I could die. And so I became a lot more, okay, yeah, whatever you need. Rather than, because like the heat doesn't affect me. Like, I don't like boob sweat and stuff, but I'm not gonna die. And so I'm a lot more empathetic now than I used to be about just make it easy. Like, why would we be uncomfortable if we don't have to be? So that being said, I think I've rambled on quite a bit for like 30 minutes about this. Boob sweat. Yeah. Excuse me. Ah! Oh, she sent me an email. Oh, yeah, she's gonna, okay. She didn't give me an updated uh, proposal. Excuse me. I've talked until my throat hurts. Bork, bork. Um, what are we talking about? You can always put on more clothes. There's only so much you can take off without getting arrested. Yeah. But and I really liked the concept of just like the big ballrooms and stuff, and it's within Randy and I's comfort zone too, because we've been vending, we've been attending conventions as vendors, at these different hotels and convention centers for over a decade, so we're familiar with the turf, like. I don't want to. Like, this is already a million miles outside my comfort zone, but at least there's this one familiar thing to me. But yeah, I was talking about Mid South Con has, yeah, sunstroke for sure, and that's even if the weather's perfect. If you get sunburnt, you know. Um, but Mid South Con has a con suite where if you pay a certain amount in addition to your badge, you get like a sticker on it, and anybody that goes through, it's like a complimentary concession stand. They have like during meal times they have like hot dogs. They'll have like breakfast themed like granola bars and muffins and coffee and stuff, and it's like you can just go through and free graze on these things, and then they've got like sodas and energy drinks and like like vegetables and dip and like animal crap, like a lot of different, like it's like cheap snacky foods kind of, but you aren't having to pay for food. Like you're there, like you pay $8 and you don't have to spend any money on bottled water or sodas or anything for the weekend. So Randy and I would really like to be able to incorporate something like that. But like some of these venues, like the Gateway Center up in Collinsville, Illinois, they have an exclusivity concessions contract. So it's like maybe a ski resort in the off season before the snows. Ooh, now that would be fun. Just going up into the mountains. Yeah. Yeah, Tasha's like a snack buffet, pretty much. But it's enough that you're not going to have anybody keeling over because they haven't eaten anything but uncooked ramen for 3 days, which I've seen happen at anime conventions because these kids are like, I've eaten nothing but ramen and pudding and Pocky. um, Snacks. But yeah, it's just that was something that was really cool. I had also thought about the possibility of bringing in food trucks. Just to give a little bit of like diversity and stuff, but for anybody that attends, I don't want it to be an expensive excursion, like it's because just leaving my house is expensive, period. Like whether I'm going to the gas station or to the Walmart or to the McDougal's, like yeah, coffees and waters are a must, right? But yeah, if we could bring in like a taco truck or something, or like it would be really cool, I think, to be able to do that. But again, with the Gateway Center, they have that. And this isn't, I'm just using them as an example. There's a lot of places. What about cooking classes at the fair? I think we're going to try to keep it a little more focused on the types of classes that we're having. Like for year one, I was going to limit the curriculum to things that worst case scenario I could teach. If we can't get in guest teachers or something falls through or somebody gets sick. I don't know what a beaver tail is, Toshers, but I'd eat it. Like, I hope this isn't boring to you guys, but like, I'm really excited, and I'm really excited to go back through and read all y'all's comments. Would you be having any teachers for mixed media? I would love to. And a lot of it is, I was thinking we would do very similar to the Bead and Button show for, like, kind of vetting panelists and teachers. Is like you have a project to be like this project. I know how many beads it takes me to make it. I know how much wire. I know how many cabs. And so be like, I can teach a classroom of 30 people this project. Boop. And so if I were applying to be a teacher at Craftalongcon, I would send a picture of the project, either a brief written description of like what your teaching class format would be, kind of like Bead Fest, yeah, like very similar to these like Bead and Button shows and things where they have teachers, but instead of you having to pay anywhere from $50 to a couple $100 for a class, you just buy the badge and attend the convention and take whatever classes that you want. We aren't entirely certain right now if we're going to be able to pay the teachers or if we're going, like, what? We don't know yet. Again, teaching macrame. Yeah, and that's, I figured y'all are such a talented and versatile group of people that I was like, I think we're going to have no shortage of talented artisans, experienced teachers, newbies who want to get their hands dirty. Like, yeah, it's like I feel like finding people to be involved and teachers to teach and things is going to be the easiest part. All I'm going to have to do is be like, hey guys, who wants to come teach? And I feel like I'll be filled up in 5 minutes. And then it's getting the venue worked out, working out the finer details, figuring out the logistics of getting everybody in one building coordinated and in the, like, yeah, teach making dream catchers. That would be really cool. On a different note, I know you have a whole birthday month of celebration. October is the same for my daughter. What day is your birthday? Isn't it, Christina? I've actually been thinking about you a lot as I've been, like, planning this and stuff, so my birthday is August 6th, and I'm actually foregoing all celebrations this year because I'm spoiled rotten all the time anyways. But we might go, if, like, for my birthday, we're gonna go check out a venue for Craftalong Con. Yeah, for sure, Jean. I try to keep up with it, but it's like I have such a little bit on the screen. Yeah, I'll be 31 this year, Amzie. Being in your 30s is pretty good. You can't stop us from spoiling you, Vaughn. I know, Derpy, and I wouldn't even dare to try. But it's, as far as, like Randy and I go and stuff, like, it's, I can do wood burning and carving, small scale, right on. And that's another thing, too, is I don't know how messy they'll let us get. Might have to put down tarps. We'll see. So, and again, a lot of that's going to depend on the venue, too, because I don't want to go in and wreck the place and then the venue not have us back. Delight says, in Orlando, they have a maker's fair that sounds very similar to what you're talking about, and they started in the Science Museum. Possibilities. That is true. Yeah. Buy the badge to attend the classes, then pay a small fee, like around $20 per class for the supplies. And Nicole, we may end up doing something like that. I was hoping we might be, in a perfect world, for the wire wrapping class, Randy and I would probably sponsor providing cabochons for people to wrap, and then we might, like, again, in a perfect world, have Parawire sponsor and provide the wire to wrap with for the project. So if we'd be able to get, like, if there's a local beater craft store or something, or if anybody attending has, like, because we're hoping to have vendors, but if any of the vendors in, like, compensation for booth fee possibly, or just something, wanted to contribute beads or macrame materials or just something. So we'll need to know what the classes are before we start filling it with what sponsors can provide. Yeah, we're going to see about this, Laura, and that's why I was going to brainstorm with you a little bit more, because you've been involved, kicked the tripod, with, VisionCon and other stuff. So Crapola, going to have to catch the replay. Bye, Jim. Thanks for popping in. But this is really big. Like, I keep fluctuating between just a really high intense burn of, like, writing down all the different ideas and things, and feeling like, oh my God, can this even happen? Well, I'm not gonna lie, whenever we got the quote for 47,000, I was like, like, and then I was like, oh, that's because I was trying to, reserve 100 hotel rooms for 3 nights. So yeah, that's, we aren't gonna do that. Right? I can see the excitement in your eyes. Well, I'm really like obsessed and excited about this right now. Again, I think I'm wearing everybody around me out here at home talking about it. Like, even the dogs are like, ugh, not this again. But, like, we're gonna have to figure out how to do registration. But something that we do know, I have a vision binder, Tracy, that, I mean, I'm not drawing pictures and stuff, but it's like we're going through, and I've got like 50 lists that I just keep going through. It's like select a venue, book hotel rooms, set up online registration, and another term is conference registration system. So we're looking at EventStar because we've signed up through that for other events. So we're gonna see how much that costs and different things. Secure speakers, y'all, and me, and Randy, and possibly Maddie, because she's like really good at crafting too. Arrange hospitality, like a VIP green room or something. Like, I'd like to be able to provide a green room for the vendors and the speakers, that if they don't let us do a con suite or anything like that, that we can at least provide free food and drinks to the people who are like kind of stuck there all day. Because attendees, you guys can go and like eat at like Taco Bell or something, and but like the people who are like, I've got classes back to back all day, or I've got a booth to run, you know, it's like, and you're kind of stuck in the building. We want you to stay fed and watered so that you don't hate us or die or something. Please don't die at my convention. I don't know, please don't do that. Like, live to craft another day. For your binder, get the carpet saver adhesive plastic that they use in construction. Ooh, right on. And then host exhibit hall. That's a whole mess in and of itself. Schedule the meeting rooms and the different panels and things. And that's just the first, that's just that much, you guys. Like, we've got, and then I dumped coffee on everything too. I was like, hey Maddie, you want to see something? And she's like, sure. And like looked, and I just went like, psh. I didn't mean to. I was reaching to grab something, but I just knocked like my full coffee cup over everything. I was like, ta-da. What are those fabulous beads in your hair? These bad boys? These are from Kano Clay, who makes beautiful jewelry. You can find her on Instagram. She had sent me the bracelet of it, but I like it on my head. It's a good bracelet too, though. A lot of venues in Recon say no outside food or drink, which is for vendors, etc. Sucks. Yeah, and we've learned over the years, Laura, that the convention can pay more to let the vendors bring in their own food and drink. They just choose not to, which I think sucks. Again, it depends entirely on the venue, but so again, we're kind of keeping an eye on that, and that's why I'm checking out so many different venues, because it's, you know, well, we will find the perfect venue. Multitasking around my pad, rejoined the conversation. What an awesome idea. Right on, Greta. We get you was so expensive at Branson Con. Yeah, and it's we don't even think, guys, that we're gonna make any money off of this. I just want to do it. Like, we're gonna try really hard to not lose our asses, but I want so badly to be able to have this event with you guys where we can get together in person and do this. Like, I think that would be amazing. Like, I don't know, and it feels really good to feel obsessively inspired about something again. Like, this has breathed new life into everything that I'm doing. Like, I had this idea, and then that same day I shot 4 tutorials. And like that spark has been reignited, and I don't know like what planet is in retrograde or something or what, but it's working for me. Maybe a single day mini con is a test situation, possibly, but, and again, we're considering all options at this point. Just because I'm meeting with a convention space doesn't mean that I'm paying them money and signing up the same day. I'm just getting an idea, because the more I learn from talking to this sales associate, next venue I go to and talk to, I'll have a much better idea of what I'm looking for, how much the costs, anticipated expenses are going to be, like all of these different things. Like, the more I learn, the more better equipped I'll be to make the correct decisions, which again, that's why this event is going to be earliest October 2021. So, like, I'm just, and this is, if y'all could have met me whenever Randy and I were starting our business, same hot mess of just like like it just, the fire consumes me. And Randy, bless his heart, he feeds the flame and keeps me from burning the house down. Nicole says, we went to craft with you in person too, but we also love you enough to want to help you and other craft teachers money, so we do what we can to help. Aw, Nicole. And that's, we were hoping that we could have different like costs of badges, kind of, that like if you pay like the VIP badge or something, that then you can take all the classes for free, and we would be able to compensate the teachers. And then if you're like, I want to come but I only want to take like 2 classes, I just want to use the free craft space, like that would be a badge tier. I would like to be able to have our dealer's room exhibit hall open to the public, because so many of y'all might come, and then just to offset the expense of the trip, have a vendor booth. I don't want to have like a huge dealer's room, because that's not doing anybody any favors. Like, I've been there. I have been a dealer at a first year show where there are like 150 dealers, and 150 people showed up, but that's just not enough to go around. So we're gonna have it's gonna be a quite small event, honestly. But gosh, I'm brimming, you guys. Like, I can't stop. We will be having a giveaway on Thursday, by the way. I don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna be having a giveaway. And that was part of our marketing idea as well, that I talked to Randy about, is that if everything works out in the time frame, which I know it won't, but just we'll see. Like, if we're gonna have the event the first weekend of October in 2021, then in October 2020, we're going to start our marketing campaign. Jackie, I don't know if you can book the plane right now, but I can't tell you how to live. I don't know for certain when or where it's going to be yet. So right now I'm just excited and shooting ideas sideways out my head everywhere. What did you deal? Cocaine, weed? I dealt beads, Abby. It's worse. It's the worst addiction of them all, is crafting supplies. I'm sorry, Amzi, there's so many comments and I'm not even really reading as much. I'm just like, blah, like, to try to get it all out. I will be going through and reading this after the live stream is over, though. You can get some of your favorite suppliers to try and sponsor the event by giving free materials. We were hoping to do something of that sort. But for our marketing campaign, that's what I was going to say, is I was thinking about across each of our platforms, like I was like, we might be able to budget, and I have no idea how much this is going to cost, but if every week we could do 2 free ticket giveaway, so that you and a friend could come to our event. Like, you still have to book your hotel, you still have to get yourself there, but you can come and take like all of the classes, or like, we again don't know the finer points, but we'll be able to give 2 tickets away a week for a year. And we might not be able to do like up until the week before the event, but and those would be gifts or tickets you'd be able to gift to a friend as well. So if you're like, I'd love to, but I just can't get work off, you can give it to a friend or something. So so that was an idea that we were going to use for marketing. Another big driving force that we were thinking about doing for marketing was going to be, for the year leading up to the convention, to go and teach at the conventions that in the past we have vended at. Go and do a crafters hall or like a crafters guild or something, where we just take over one panel room and all weekend we're doing classes back to back, because that's exposing us to a demographic that already they're inclined to leave their house. They're already at a convention, so it's already in their head to be fun and normal to pay for a hotel room and to travel, and like, it narrows our demographic a little bit more than me just standing in the street throwing flyers at people who are like, crafting, what's pliers? And it's like, get some culture. And then not only are they already inclined to go to conventions, but they showed up at our crafting panel, so they already are at least mildly interested or bored enough to start crafting. And then we got you, like, haha, because crafting, it's so much fun that you're going to be addicted whether you want to or not. So we are thinking about doing some sort of, like, if you can't attend the uncultured swine, if you can't attend the event, I'm so sorry, I'm just reading stuff randomly now. for us to be able to do some sort of vidcast, like of the panels or of the events or like something, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay somebody to do that, and I think I'm going to be so busy, just keeping everything going, that I don't even know how much I as a human being am going to get to participate in my own event, but I'm going to try my best to have everything coordinated and have people, like I'm going to have probably someone in our close inner circle running the dealer's room. That way I don't have to be there micromanaging. They can, do that. I'm going to have somebody running registration. I'm going to have somebody running hospitality. So like dealing with the green room, I'm going to have somebody in charge of actually each of the panel rooms. I'd like to have volunteers that sit in on the panel room to make sure that nobody sets themselves on fire. Nobody's like, I trust y'all to behave yourselves, but you never know what's going to go on. But if somebody gets like super drunk and starts wrecking one of the panel rooms, like to just have somebody there, and then they're going to have a person like over them. So there's going to be a whole management tree. But I want to be the girl on fire. Set yourself on fire outside with a permit. With many teachers plus VIP, you will need the craft policy to help. Police. So, yeah, and we're gonna have security. Like, and again, I'm really glad I've gotten to be able to network and coordinate with a lot of people who do this in the. Keep in mind, Jody, I have a super low bar of what behaving entails. You can be naked. You can be sticking beads up your nose. Like, I don't care. Just don't vandalize the property. Please probably wear clothes. I think it's like required. But yeah, the conventions, the fandom event conventions that we attend have, security staff. I'm going to have a couple of EMTs. Hopefully we can go to the local hospital of wherever we end up having the event and get naked Craft Along Con. This just got more fun. Craft Along Con after dark. Naked bouncers. Bam. Oh boy. And I just, so this is what I've had. This is just a little blip of what I've had bursting in my head all week. And I can't write fast enough, and I can't keep my eyes from crossing long enough to be able to get them all down on paper. But I'm working on it. I'd like to have a craft swap in the craft hall, like have like a couple tables set up where you can, if you've got stuff that like, it's been sitting in my craft room for 30 years. I love this yarn. I don't need this yarn anymore. You can bring it, sit it on the table, and anything that's on that table, it's free to take. Like, it's like a swap. So like, I know that some people have had like fabric swaps and different things before. And so, I think that would be cool, like just as an option. And then anything that's left over at the end, like we might do in like grab bags or something, like repackage it up for people to just like kind of take home or donate it to like a local school or art center or just anywhere. There's crafty people everywhere, literally everywhere. So that's exciting. Like, I don't know, are y'all excited about this? Like, because I think I'm going to need to put together a poll and that's the thing, is that we think we're going to have one big ballroom for the dealers and exhibitors and stuff, and then one big ballroom for the craft hall, and then the smaller workshop rooms. So can I donate my doctors? They need repurposing. Abby, not to be this way, but I want competent doctors. And from what I've heard about yours, I've not heard the best things. They can come if they bring you. I'm just saying. Little recorder for thoughts, ideas. I can talk way faster than I can write, which is kind of what this live stream is going to be. Like, I can't wait for October 2021 to get here and for us to look back at this video, at all of y'all's ideas, and at my rambling like a squirrel on speed. Hey Penny, things are great. Teach Crazy Patch. Yeah, Canada is coming. Christine says maybe get some volunteers to help barter something. Yeah, the idea that we had for volunteers is you still buy your badge like a regular attendee, but if you work the certain number of hours by the end of the weekend, you are refunded your badge. Because there have been too many events that Randy and I have gone to that they have like 75 volunteers, but we've only seen 10 of them work, and the rest of them just got in for free. And it's like, we so desperately need, if you're a person, like, if you're signed up as a volunteer, I'm relying on you. Like, Randy and I's savings and years of work and all these things are relying on you as a volunteer to do what you're saying that you're going to do. And so just as an insurance will be like, if you work your hours and you get signed off, then you get your badge fee back. And right now we were looking at how we're thinking we might need like max 200 volunteers. And that's like, that could handle if 1,000 people attended. And that's with each volunteer only working 4 hours out of the whole weekend. So if we had 100 people working 8 hours out of the whole weekend, that's only 100 badges that we're going to end up having to give away for free. Plus you'll get green room hospitality. But again, we'll work out those finer details as it gets close up to it. So excited. But yeah, so and we were thinking of having a similar concept for if you're a vendor who shows up, like if Randy and I were attending Craft Along Con and we're like, we want a booth, but I can teach classes. Then you can teach classes, and the number of classes that you teach will offset the cost of your booth. Again, right now, I have no idea how much we're going to need to charge for booths. I'd like to be like $100, because that's kind of like the lowest I've seen anybody on the market charge, and we got to pay for this thing somehow outside of hopefully badge sales. Anzie says, can I stand at the entrance pretending to scan people's tickets while going beep boop? Yes, we'll actually need people to do that. You can make sound effects all you want. We don't need no stinking badges. But Christina, I hope that's a good wow, Christina. But this is definitely the biggest thing I feel like I've ever had the idea to do. But I feel like, could this happen? Like the more Randy and I talk about it, because I'm very like optimistic and like blah, 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 and then Randy's very like I had to actually ask him to be like, okay, I know not all of these ideas are good. I'm just spewing ideas right now. Please don't tell me no on every single thing right now, because I need to just keep this momentum going. And he was like, okay, because he wasn't being like, no. He was just like, yes, but like, he's like, that's a good idea, but we'll have to tweak this. And I'm like, we'll tweak it later. We've got like a year and a half or something. But I really feel like maybe this could happen, like, because it's not just another fan con that we're trying to pull in big guests and that's how we're pulling our people in. I feel like we're offering like a genuine value that can't be gotten, like the hands-on experience that y'all will be getting from hopefully the variety of teachers that we'll have coming and teaching professionally. Like, this isn't just going to be fun. I want to help you professionally. That's why I started this YouTube channel to begin with. Was, it was hard starting our own business and learning everything from scratch and messing up and having to dig ourselves back out of these holes. But I'm like, if there's any way that I can make your journey just a little bit easier, just a little bit more streamlined, just a little bit more joyfully creative, then my mission is accomplished. And I feel like through this artist and education conference intensive, hashtag karate, Johnny Karate, I think this could actually be a really cool thing, you guys. And you'll be able to take things that you learned there and networking that you've made and stuff, and take that into so many different aspects of your own life and business and help your friends. And it's like I've got a serious craft witty right now. I'm super excited. Sorry not to be ridiculous, but oh, Dark and Christy and everybody, you could decorate everything in tie-dye. I think it's going to be tie-dye by the time it's all said and done, whether we like it or not. Yeah, a lot of these places, surprisingly, have no glitter policies. I did not expect to see that in so many different contracts. No glitter. They're it's listed up there with fire, I guess because it does almost just as much damage sometimes. Yeah, Penny, she She says, you have the knowledge base, experience, and fan base. Why give other con hosts your money when you can host your own? And that's, I understand whenever I don't get guest spots at like conventions because I'm not a comic book writer. I'm not a voice actor. I do dress up in costumes, but I'm not really a cosplayer. Like, and so instead of trying to fit myself into someone else's show and their mold and trying to rebrand myself to be more appropriate for that event, it's like, I am what I am. I am a tuber. No, it's like to just make our own thing and be like, all right, this is what we're doing. If you want to come, come, because we're not forcing anybody to buy badges. But yeah, I don't know if I finished that thought. When you're, oh yeah, so it's 2.5 years. If we do it in 2021. I'm so excited. So at least once a month, we're interested in going to. Oh, Dragon Con's going really well. By not vending at Tokyo and Tulsa, we are way ahead for Dragon Con. Badges are when you pay money to be at the event and they give you a badge. It's a little thing that has your name on it, and you wear it either clipped to your shirt or around your neck, and you're like, I'm here, this is me, I have been validated to be here. And it gets you into all the panel rooms and all of the different things. It's just a way of kind of organizing. Tracy's like, do I next year? We will see. We're giving ourselves a lot of time to get this because we want to do this right. Like, I'm not going to charge somebody badge money and then teachers not show up, or like we are going to do this as correctly by y'all as what we can. Assuming that any of y'all come, because I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be really cool. If you come to my event. Yeah, and I'm not gonna be like, it has to be baby race. It's like you can keep it in your pocket. You're just gonna have to flash it to get in the door to the panels and stuff. Especially if we have the dealer's room area open up to the public, we'll need something to differentiate between people going to the panels and stuff and people who are just there to shop. Because I don't know how many events Randy and I have been to that it's like there's nobody here buying things. What? And so as a favor to our vendors, we're like, if we market it well locally, there's a lot of people who would go to a free craft show just to have something to do for that day. Jody says, I'll substitute teach for any teachers who don't show up. And we may very well have some backup panels in mind. I'm already planning out the signage to be able, like the panel room itself will have like the sign on there, and I'm gonna have it like either Velcro or magnets or something where we can shuffle it around if we need to, like to be able to modify our signage right there at the show. Don't know yet if we're going to use a program app for the panels and stuff, just because I've never been able to, in the history of doing conventions, I've never figured out how to get any of those to actually work. But yeah, once a month, in addition to doing the ticket giveaway sales, we were thinking about setting up at conventions, hosting a panel lineup of like mini craft along con experience to promote to the con attendees. And instead of having our booth worrying about selling our art and wares, we'll have a fan table where we can talk to people directly, like how we're doing now, about the event, about what it's offering, and we'll do an in-person ticket giveaway at that event, and hopefully be able to work an exchange that way with the conventions, that it's like, let us have a table at your event and you can have a table at our event. That way they can promote their local event, where it's good networking, I feel like. And the first place that we have lined up for that is MCFC. It's not in stone yet, but I was talking to Joe, the organizer, who's, like I had said, he's phenomenal, and I really hope that he maybe mentors me a little bit, because he's been putting on a really good show for like a decade now and has a lot of experience in what I'm trying to do. So there's that. I volunteer to be any help you may need. I'm a dependable, crafty, crazy, organized medical director background and a general jack-of-all-trades person. Julie, you're just the breed we need. We just need 200 of you if you can swing that. Also, I don't know how to work walkie-talkies. How are we gonna? We're gonna have walkie-talkies. I think I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Oh, Tashers. She says I'd been losing motivation to keep selling my crafts, just running out of steam. Consider myself reinvigorated. I used to hold all fairs and events and also work for right on. No, it's we have a thread about this on Discord, so I'm really sorry that I haven't been as involved in y'all's comments and stuff. Like, sorry, I'm pointing like that because for me, I can see me right here, and then right here on my screen is y'all's comments, but I can only see like 3 at a time. Just shout if you need something. Forget walkie-talkies. No, it's walkie-talkies are a good idea. I'm actually gonna have a burn phone. Like one that's not my regular phone number, but like just for that weekend. That way everyone on staff can reach that phone. And that way, like if and when I lose it, because that's how I function, it's not losing my big smartphone. Ooh, right on. That'd be cool, Jackie. I can't wait for that day to see everyone Thursday, right? So Thursday, ooh, dry erase. That's a really good idea, Tracy. That's actually a really good idea. That's way more affordable too than any of the other options. Hey, Juliana in Scotland. I don't know. I think I might just go visit Scotland, honestly. But I think I've talked myself almost hoarse. I'm not a very organized person, but I'm very crafty and always full of ideas. So I'll do what I can to help. Right on. Oh, you guys. Oh, Abby. But yeah, we'll be talking more over in Discord with like different ideas and stuff. Whenever I get this a little bit more figured out, I'm going to actually be having a Leslie Knope style notebook made for everyone who will be participating as like staff or volunteer or something, or volunteer coordinator for the event. And I'll probably honestly have a digital version up on Discord or our Dropbox or something. We're not sure yet. Not amused. Next month I'm looking at a place in Springdale, Arkansas, but I've also been looking at places as far away as St. Louis. But I want to share as much information as I can about this the more that I learn, because so many of y'all are so much more experienced in this than I am. And I'm not about to go in this stubbornly blind being like, no, I know everything with my little arrogance blinders on. The depth of my ignorance is astounding. And so I'm going to need as much help as I can from you guys as far as advice and stuff goes. So I'm going to go drink some tea and get the, oh, Nina. Oh. Well, I'm glad to re-energize you, Deborah, but I've talked nonstop. I'm not even for an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you guys so much for letting me have verbal diarrhea all over you. I'm sorry that I talk. Okay. We will see you guys on Thursday, and we will actually be crafting, so help me. Do y'all want to see how the little mushrooms came out? Oh, sorry. So we have more cabs going. We've got that going on. And I think this is actually what we'll be giving away on Thursday. Boop, boop. Will be our little glow-in-the-dark cane mushroom. And this a bad boy. He's a little miniature one. So that's how it came out after baking. And let's charge them up in a lamp. Charge them in the lamp. And then I'm going to go hide somewhere dark. And then we'll see them glow. Okay. We're someplace dark. I need a table to hide under. It's glowing. Do you see those bitches glow? Oh my god. But yeah, super glowy, super sculpy. But yeah, that's those guys. So that will be what we give away on Thursday. To participate in our giveaway, please like if you want. But that's always nice. I think. I don't know what it actually does. If you like my video, I think it helps, but only because I hear other YouTubers say it. But definitely leave a comment. That's how you get your name into the hat to win our giveaway on Thursday. So, I need a nap. Bye. Happy crafting, everybody.